Heel. Atta girl. Good girl. Good heel. Heel. Good girl. Good girl. Heel. Atta girl. Looking good. Looking good. Good morning, everyone. Do you have a problem with trying to get your dog to focus on you and not everything else? Well, again, meet Harley. I introduced her in my last video. She's a 2-year-old German Shepherd, and she's here at Taming the Wild Tupelo going through our enhanced board and train program. Now, when she arrived just a few days ago, I would classify her or label her as a FOMO dog, F-O-M-O, meaning fear of missing out. Trust me, she had a fear of missing everything. She wanted to catch every car that drove by here. Anytime a squirrel ran down a tree, a bird flew by, someone knocks on the door, she had this constant fear of missing out. And as you can imagine, that can become pretty problematic when you're trying to teach a dog to walk next to you, remain on one side of your body, and not pull you. So I had to start off immediately working her and building her focus on me and not on everything else. In other words, I want her to have the fear of missing out on old Bryan, not on everything else. So if you have a dog that's similar to Harley, then I recommend that you kind of work her a little bit like I do. Now, before you go through any sort of intensive training with any dog, make sure, if they're not familiar with you, like she didn't know me just a few days ago, go through a transitional introductory period in which you're playing a lot, using the ball, using treats, just getting to know one another, making sure that she sees you as a non-threat. And then you can start to train in earnest. Now, what I did to start working on her focusing ability on me was by simply going in the opposite direction of her. So I just put a leash on her, and when Harley went left, guess where Bryan went? I went right. And when she went out ahead of me, I went back this way. And we just did this over and over again. So again, there was a couple little doink this way and a doink that way and a doink this way, nothing hard, not even at what I would call a correction level, just to stop my momentum level. And so she'd turn around and go, Bryan, do me a favor, let me know when you're turning. And I'm like, look here, you have 2 eyes and 2 ears. I will go ahead and give you 2 of those, 1 eye and 1 ear. You can go ahead and do your old fear of missing out. I need a set on me. So 1 eye and 1 ear on me at this stage. Next week, I'm gonna need everything on me. So that's all I did. I just kind of moved around. I really didn't even give a command. I just waited for her to do her own thing. When she went out ahead of me, suddenly I went the other way. She went left, I went the other way with her. Kind of like the old, remember the old day 2, step right, pull right in the 365? Did a whole bunch of that, whole bunch of it. But as you can see now she's moving. Now we can even do fancy things like S turns as we move along. And then sharp left turns, look how she pivots. She doesn't get in my way. She does a nice pivot. She's so good now, doing so good. Okay, so that kind of attention and working together occurred just from doing basic opposite moves. Over the years, I call it attentive walking. In other words, you need to be attentive to what I'm doing, otherwise you're going to run smack dead into the end of that leash. And then I start to introduce advanced moves. Because the more erratic I become, the more demanding I become in the direction I travel, and pace changes that I make, it's going to require her to pay more attention to avoid running into the end of that leash. Heel. So we change our pace. Atta girl, looking good, looking good. We talk a little bit. I touch her, give her a little feel there. Oh, turn hard left, baby, hard left. Here we go. Whoa, 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 180 degree turn there. Let's do it again. 180 degree turn. Good, good, good. And then after all of that, just come to a halt. See what she does. Okay? And that brings me to another point. I'll kind of cover this in a later video. When I'm walking with a dog and I'm teaching a dog to walk next to me, I'm not a real stickler on the auto sit in the beginning. In fact, for my service dog days, I never taught an automatic sit when I stopped because service dogs find themselves in very densely populated areas like cities. And now, as you can imagine, I'll back up here so you can see just a little bit more. Turn sideways here. Sit. Look at that long, beautiful tail. Look at it. I hope you can see it. Let's back up a little more. Come on over here. Just want to make sure you guys can see. Sit. Okay, long, beautiful tail. I make her sit at a busy intersection, maybe in New York, maybe in Chicago, maybe in Memphis, just a big city. What do you think people who are traveling on foot in that city are doing? Free. They're looking at their iPhones. They're chatting. They're in FOMO, fear of missing out. And guess who steps on your dog's tail? That's why you won't see seeing eye dogs and real service dogs sitting at intersections if they have a tail. It's to protect your dog's tail. But that's a video for another time. You'll just see her as I train her. When I come to a stop, all I care is that she stops when I do. Heel. So I'm just going to move up to here. And then again, I'm going to give her a little bit of a clue by slowing down my pace. Perfect. I just want her to stop when Bryan stops. We can work on sitting later if we wish to. I leave that really up to the owner of the dog. Okay, guys, if you have any questions about moving with your dog, trying to instill some focus on you, if you have a fear of missing out dog yourself, ask those questions. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Again, as we move along with her training, I'll be showing you more tips. Probably in the next video, I'll talk a little bit about place and a little bit about teaching the dog to lay down. Okay, guys, interact. That's what I want. Catch you next time. Good job, man. You did terrific. Free. What a good girl. What a good girl.